then just for fun to get the ball rolling, something that you're excited about today.
Okay, my name's Olivia Drevlow. I'm 17 years old, and something I'm excited about. It's snowing right now in Georgia, and we get snow like maybe once a year. And when we do get snow, it's really gross and icy, but this actually looks like fun to play in. So I'm probably gonna play in that later with my siblings.
Amazing. I'll keep this short so that you can have fun in the snow. Um, okay, so my next question is outside of, you're in high school, right?
Mhm.
So outside of high school and like your obligations, what is a like an activity or something fun that you really enjoy doing?
I really love music because in the past it's been a really sweet way for me to like cope with hardships and things I didn't understand, like with family dynamics. My dad's in the military, so he's had some PTSD and also some mental health issues. Music has been a really healthy outlet for me to like express myself and also process. So I love
I love
playing
that.
music, listening to music, all the things.
Nice. Is that something you want to go into professionally, like music therapy?
Yeah, so I've thought about it. I'm really interested in it. I'm not sure exactly yet. I have an interest in like language and music, and therapy has kind of been increased like in my
Yeah.
list. Honestly, my end goal with whatever I do is just to connect with people on deep levels, because I just love people. So
Yeah. You can find that anywhere if you make it. Okay. My next question is what is an accomplishment or like a personal project, extracurricular activity that you have worked on that you're really proud of working on, and tell me why.
um, okay, so I have a few things. I do CrossFit. That's also been a healthy outlet for me. It also helps me with like my mental health, just to keep my mindset clear and concise.
Right.
So it's been cool when I stay really committed with that. To see new PRs in the gym. And then also with music, I have made quite a few pieces on the piano. Um, so there's one song in particular that's my favorite that I've made. Because I've been
You,
able to play it for others and they've enjoyed it. So
oh, nice. That's so cool. Was that something you grew up with, or you just like kind of wanted to learn later on
I just
in
kind
life?
of wanted to learn it later on. I had an interest, like, we always had music playing in the house. Um, but right when a lot of like hardship kind of came up with my family in the military, that's when I wanted it the most. So we had an old keyboard and I just kind of like started looking up YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And then I got lessons for a little bit, and I'm not in piano lessons anymore, but I like to mess around.
Yeah. Very, very cool. So what grade are you in high school?
I'm in 11th right now.
Oh, okay. So you have a whole year left into the college.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
fun, exciting, exciting. Um, my question relates to kind of school. So, if you were to describe education in your own words, what would you tell me?
Education, I see it as growth. I feel like education can look really different for a lot of different people. I'm fully aware that not everybody is called to go to college. If it's not going to fit with what you want to do for the rest of your life, then go to trade school or get a like certification with whatever you want to do in the long run. As of right now, what that looks like for me is going to college, um, just to kind of dig deeper in languages and music, and hopefully maybe therapy someday. So yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, very, very, very cool. I'm excited for you. I Therapy is a very fun um, kind of career to go into because you get to talk to so many different people, get to like really be a part of someone's life and help them in a way that they didn't know possible. So it's very fun, rewarding
Yeah,
career. So I hope you go down that if it is the right fit for you.
thank you.
Um, in terms of like a topic or a skill or a subject that should be taught in schools that isn't, what do you feel like that would be?
I definitely think music and mental health, like as a combo, would be really important. Because I've looked into it a little bit, just like the healing aspects of music, and how that can help with PTSD and trauma, um, and even people who have trouble sleeping. So that's why I find it fascinating. I think it'd be cool if we could try to like incorporate that some type somehow with students today, especially with all the social media. I think it definitely takes like a toll on people's mental health. Um, so that, and also just more religious freedom. I'm a Christian personally, so I know a lot of times that's kind of cut short to like keep it open for other religions, but it's also kind of weird sometimes because I'm like a white female who is a Christian. I'm like, I still believe in Christianity, you know? So yeah, just kind of a little bit of that.
Yeah,
That makes
no,
sense.
I get that too. I'm Catholic, so I understand where you're coming from perfectly.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not trying to sound like some,
Yeah.
you know.
I
Yeah.
get it completely.
No, good. I'm like, this is gonna be awkward if she's like, you know, but
No, I always like every time someone mentions they're Christian, I'm like, oh, did they see this? Like,
I did see it at first, and I was like, oh, maybe.
we have something to bond over.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, perfect. Love that answer. You can be as detailed or as vague with this next response as you want, but tell me about someone who has left an impact on your life and why.
My first thought is my mom. She double majored in college and married my dad. My dad like joined the military. Like, she's super educated, super smart. She chose to stay home and just be a stay-at-home mom with my older sister and me, and then I have 2 younger siblings. But throughout my life, she's just been someone I can always turn back to. And in a way, she's really shown me how to crumble. And I know that kind of sounds weird, but there's a season in time in Tennessee, when I lived in Tennessee. My dad was in and out of the house a lot, and she was Superwoman. Like, she was the person who wiped all the tears, and went through all the hard talks with each and every kid. And there are four of us, so like if one of us was having a good day, the other one was having a bad day, and when one of us feels, we all feel. I remember one day specifically, one of us was just having a hard time, and we missed our dad, and we were just like, having a rough day. We were talking on the stair steps, and it turned into like all 4 of us just crying on the stairs together, because like that's kind of how my mom raised us, is to like feel for each other. But yeah, I just hold her in really high respect, because my dad was the one getting the new decoration for his suits and whatever, which is cool, because he was definitely doing some hard stuff over in the Middle East, but my mom was also doing a lot at home, and she was pretty much being a single parent for a lot of it. So it was cool. It was hard to see her try to like hold the family together, because when my dad was gone, we would be really sad that he was gone, because we missed him. But then when he would be back, it was like a stranger was in our house, and so we were like, well, what is this supposed to feel like? And then he'd have he had some like PTSD and rage issues, and whenever that kind of came up, my mom would immediately like come to defend us kids, which almost escalated things between her and my dad, but we knew she was trying to like protect us. So yeah, it was cool, because during that time in Tennessee, I saw her really trying her best to like make sure everybody had some type of connection. And then we moved to Georgia, and that's when we realized a lot of it was unhealthy. So my dad went through some there's a place called Shepherd Center that he went to for a little bit, but then he went through Emory Healthcare. There was like some type of trainings that he could go to help with like more behavioral health. And so anyways, this season is kind of where we realized that a lot of it was unhealthy. So she had to kind of make the hard decisions to be like, okay, you can't stay in the house right now, you need to go pursue health like overall. So yeah, he's currently in an apartment right now, which also brings its own type of weirdness. But yeah, I just have so much respect for her. She always pointed me back to Christ, and even when she did crumble, she tried to stay strong for so many people, almost to her own cost. And I respect her for it, but now I'm seeing her try to take steps for her own health and her own healing, which is takes a long time, and it's a process, but I'm proud of her, and like she's my role model. I want to be like her when I'm older, so yeah.
It's a very beautiful thing to like be born with empathy, but also like learn from someone who has gone through so much and is willing to keep a smile on their face. And I just know your mom is like the best person in the room always.
Yeah.
So that's a very beautiful thing to grow up with a role model like that. And I really hope that everything with your dad kind of heals itself soon. But I always say, like, since I am Catholic, everything happens for a reason, and it will all come together according to his will one day.
For sure.
Okay. So thank you for being very, vulnerable with me. I know I'm a stranger, but I really appreciate you opening up and telling me your story. I'm very glad to hear it. Kind of going forward, I want to know if there's like a cause or a social issue that you're really passionate about, and if so, tell me why.
A cause or a social issue that I'm really passionate about. Wow, that's deep, and I was not expecting that. Cause or social issue. Military kids. I think they go through a lot. I don't feel like they necessarily get the help and respect that I think they deserve and earn.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people just think of like the service member as those who serve their country, but it's definitely a family effort, and I've seen the impacts of that close hand. And yeah, that's something I'm passionate about, because there's a lot of people out there who have really dysfunctional dynamics at home due to PTSD, and also just, people can be messed up sometimes. But yeah, I think it'd be important for some way, somehow, to like have something for military children to like come to a safe place and process and heal from a lot of the invisible wounds that the military can kind of bring up. And I'm thankful for the military. I'm thankful we have people that like serve and protect the country. And I know there are a lot of people suffering because of it. So yeah, that's something that I think needs to be taken into account for.
Perfect. So I know you mentioned like earlier that you kind of had to go through a lot with your dad and kind of grow up a little faster than normal. So if that's the answer to my next question, you can either just say like I already answered that, or elaborate more, whatever you want. Mm-hmm. But my next question is like, what challenges have you gone through to kind of shape you who you are today?
Absolutely. So like you said, everything happens for a reason. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, so I'm trying to fit this in like a short answer. My dad. Okay, there's a lot of different seasons of my life and a lot of different hards and different seasons. When I was from a very young age, he wasn't around the house at all, really. By choice, he went to work and signed up for like deployments. By choice, he wanted that. He wasn't very family focused. So I don't really have too many memories of him when I was younger. But when I was a little older, like 6 to 11, that's when a lot of his rage and PTSD happened. And I remember, like, for one example, my sister accidentally hit her leg on the car door, and loud noises just like did not go well with my dad. So it's kind of like when you see lightning, you expect the thunder, right? When you're a little kid and you heard a loud noise, you expected like the rage from my dad, right? So I remember it was Valentine's Day and my sister accidentally hit her leg and it hurt, so she started screaming and crying, and my dad lost it, and my mom was gone. She was on her way back from something, but we were in the garage and my dad just like blew up on us and started yelling and screaming, and he kicked a trash can down. And so at that point we're all crying because we're tiny, and when you see someone like at the head of your house who's supposed to be the head of the house that mentally unstable, it does not make you feel safe. So yeah, that's just like one example that felt really hard, because the faces he would make and the sounds he would make was nothing that a kid was supposed to be exposed to at that age, or ever really. But since that was from when I was like so young, me and my older sister, whenever he had like explosive moments like that, my mom would usually come to like defend us, and that would turn into an argument between my mom and my dad. And so then it would just leave us kids like super high, like elevated, feeling unsafe, but then like Addie, my older sister, and I would see our younger siblings, and we would want them to feel safe. So it almost like forced us to put a like mini parent hat on. So it'd be like, okay, let's shuffle everyone downstairs and cut some apples up and like play Mario Kart, like try to distract them from what was happening upstairs. Because that's just kind of who we are. We felt for each other, and we wanted to be like little places of safety. But because of that, that really led to like immediate stuffing of whatever we were feeling, which had its side effects. So yeah, it kind of, during that season when I was like 6 to 11, I kind of stuffed whatever I was feeling and tried to shuffle my younger siblings downstairs or somewhere else to like distract or keep them, help them feel what we didn't, which was safety and peace. So that was during that season of time. And then once we moved to Georgia, we kind of realized that a lot of this was unhealthy and not normal. Because for a while we thought, oh, it's just like PTSD. Oh, it's just something that's, has something to do with the military. But we realized it was actually abusive in multiple ways, especially emotionally. So that caused a lot of strife between my mom and dad for just differing viewpoints on it. And at that point, I was a little older, but I was still in the mindset and habit of stuffing whatever I was feeling to make sure someone else felt safe and healthy. And that took a toll on my health. So I struggled with like a lot of anxiety. It was rough. But anyways, during this other season in Georgia, when I was a little older, I honestly started feeling responsible for a lot that really didn't have anything to do with me. I just kind of took responsibility for something that had nothing to do with anything I did or was a part of. Because for some reason it almost made me feel like I had some control over something. And then I realized it was a God thing, honestly. I don't know how much you guys like really get into faith or whatever, but it's everything to me, so I'm going there. But God really told me like, hey, you gotta let this go. Like, this is your parents' stuff. It's your parents' issues. Like, you can't keep holding on to it and like feeling responsible. It's not yours. And for a while I was like, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying, but whatever. And then it really came to the point where like one by one in that freshman year, that was the hardest year. My dad left to go to some like health facility to like start focusing on behavioral health. And just one by one, I felt like everything I kind of held on to for security was stripped away. And I was left with me and my school grades. And after a while, getting 99s and 101s like didn't do anything. I was like, okay, I still feel empty, And then I really realized I needed to let go of that. So yeah, that's been a lot. And we moved to Georgia around 5 years ago, and at the duty station we're in now, we're honestly just surrounded by civilians. It's not necessarily like a military base. It's called Camp Merrill. It's very small. So it's honestly good to like transition into, because my dad's going to retire soon. But that was also something that was hard because we weren't really surrounded by that military community. So yeah, throughout all of the crazy, there were some unhealthy ways I found safety, which was isolation, and just not talking to anyone about it, and like taking space, because when I took space, I knew I couldn't hurt someone by expressing myself or offend, but I also wouldn't be hurt by someone else, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, take space when you need to. I feel like that's healthy, but when it turns into isolation, it's not healthy. Mm-hmm. And that's where music kind of came in. God really used music for me to like process. And I'm not like a crazy pianist. I don't know all the music theory, but it has been a really sweet place of like freedom for me. Just to express myself for myself. I wasn't turning it into a teacher for a grade, and I wasn't really showing it off to my family at the time. I just wanted to be somewhere safe and express something somehow, when words wouldn't fit. You know what I mean? Because words can't always express like the casserole of emotions that I felt. Um, so yeah, that's kind of why I love music so much. It's really helped me like process a lot of trauma, and healing and all the things. And I'm still in that season of healing. It takes a long time. Um, that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm trying to find the patience during this season of healing because we've noticed what has been unhealthy and we've taken steps to pursue growth. And sometimes that journey takes a long time, but we have to stay patient in the process, you know. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with music and family. Out of all the things, it has taught me like the beauty of persevering, and also the beauty of unity when it comes to siblings, because there were times my parents were so not unified in a lot of things, and there were times we didn't have anyone but our siblings, you know, because we move around and we didn't know people, or you know, they just didn't understand the lifestyle. So I'm forever grateful for my siblings. I'm forever grateful for my mom and my dad too. There's a lot I still need healing from, but I'm happy to see he's actually taking steps for health too, and not just doing it because he's told. So yeah, I hope that covered kind of what you asked.
That covered everything, honestly. I kind of just want to respond in you mentioning how you kind of felt like as a child you kind of took that burden and you're like, it was me, I'm the problem. I think that is just like a normal child's response to when things are going off. So I don't think that you should take that as like a way of you know, hurting yourself. It's more of just that is the normal response when as a kid. It's like, oh, why is mom mad at me? It's me. What did I do? I did that. But I'm glad that as you grew up you kind of realized and you had God to kind of guide you through that. I know that you're still healing and I know that you have more work to do. That is life. But the beautiful thing is that you understand what happened is not like a reflection of you as a person, but it's more of just like life happens sometimes and you kind of just gotta roll with the punches. So I don't know you, but I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
So I think that your journey has been beautiful, and I know that goodness is coming. Beauty is all around if you look for it. But it's very nice to hear from, you know, I know you're still young and I'm not that much older than you, but I'm a little older than you. But it's nice to see that someone who, you know, is still fairly young go through all of this and still has a beautiful smile on their face. So
Thank you.
very, very well said. Very good answer. I kind of just wanted to leave space for you to talk about whatever you want if you have anything more to talk about, because those were kind of like the questions that I really wanted to ask. This is kind of like an open forum for you.
Cool. Anything I want. Wow. I think, okay, overall, for me, just with all things considered, something important I've learned lately is the health that can come with healthy outlets. So I've been really blessed with a great community of friends that are really uplifting and edifying. And they know me well. I've definitely ugly cried in front of them. But I'm super thankful for them. But yeah, just during the season, I'm trying to take advantage of the healthy outlets I have, like CrossFit and music and friends. Even babysitting, that's been a healthy outlet for me, just to be like around little kids. And like, I love babysitting because it like kind of takes me back to the simplicity of childhood again, you know. So yeah, that's been pretty cool. And I'm still making music, which is really fun. And one day I want to like record it somehow. We have some friends that have some stuff, but I do something called Team Pack Leadership Schools. I don't know how to explain it really well, but it's almost where like the government and faith kind of come together, and you learn about just how the government works, but also you go back to camp and have a lot of fellowship and fun. But I got the opportunity to staff that last year, and I'm staffing again this year. So I have staff training next week, and something I always look forward to now is they have a Steinway there, so I can play the Steinway during the free time. And that's a major upgrade from the like rickety piano I have at home. But yeah, that's something I love. And sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Life is beautiful. I try to be optimistic in life overall, you know, not as in like a toxic optimism way, but just like, yeah, I like to see growth. You know, there are days where I'll just walk downstairs and be like, guys, it's a great day to be alive, you know, like, you know, because like when, I don't know, it just kind of fixes my view on like what I'm doing. I think every day is a gift, and like, I'm really happy to be alive. I really am, you know. Yeah, so.
I love that. No, I think it's easier to be negative than it is to be positive, but being positive brings so much more.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that you're doing that.
Yeah.
That I struggled with that for the longest time. But it honestly wasn't until like 2024, like mid-year, that I was like, tomorrow I'm waking up happy regardless of whether I have the worst day
It will happen, yeah.
And it might happen. It will happen. But yeah, no, that's such a great mentality, and I'm glad that you are you have that at a young age.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I'm a passionate person. I can be passionate about pretty much anything. So.
I can tell, and I can tell in the best way possible. Well, it was my pleasure meeting you, Olivia. I had so much fun talking to you, and I'm very grateful that you were able to be vulnerable with me. And again, I hope that life, as heavy as it is sometimes, I hope that you're still having fun.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. I've had a blast. This is my first time actually like going through like an interview for something like this. It was really cool.
I told you at the end you're gonna be like, this was easy.
Yeah.
Hey YouTube, if you enjoyed this person's story, don't forget to subscribe below to hear more from our inspiring youth. If you want to apply for our Storyteller Scholarship or get more involved in our organization, click the link below to apply. Thanks for watching!